What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the You Know Ball podcast. I am your host, Trill, Bro, Dude, and Sam. It is a moment right now. It's a moment for millennials. I don't know if you're aware of this, but earlier today, 44-year-old Philip Rivers was activated to the Colts practice squad. It has honestly never been a better time to be a wash guy that is a millennial than right now. Honestly, putting on for everyone, some amazing information has come out about this. His oldest daughter, his first child, because Philip Rivers, he's got a lot of kids. His oldest daughter is older than Anthony Richardson, the Colts' other quarterback, which was incredible, and the same age as Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end that they just drafted at the top of this draft. So we're having a comeback moment. It's 2026 will be the year for wash millennials.
Oh, I was just gonna say, because I feel like he is spiritually a boomer though, because he has a good job and has a bunch of kids.
Sure.
If you were a millennial, he would be either Volcel or have no child, living the dink lifestyle, or some other thing. Instead, he has been a father to many children, something I do not respect. Millennial culture is uncle culture.
That's true. That is very good point. Also, he gets mad at Joe Burrow for being too woke. I don't know if you saw this clip.
I didn't see that.
No. He was really upset with Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow wears his hair that way and carries himself like a wide receiver, quote unquote.
Oh, that's like not even like what? That's just like dog whistle. Straight up dog whistles.
I was like, wait, what? And he literally then he finished the interview by saying, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, that's the way you carry yourself as a quarterback.
Oh my God.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. Couldn't have thrown Dak Prescott in there to beat the
allegation.
allegation.
I was gonna say Dak Prescott's a boomer. Like, you could like get away with like you could have like at least had like plausible deniability that you weren't being insanely racist if you had just fucking
yeah, I don't think Philip Rivers is too worried about that personally.
I guess that's a good point.
I would imagine he doesn't really care about all that stuff, but it is going to be awesome to see elder abuse on the field when he has to play against the Seattle Seahawks defense this week. What a week to come back as well, to play against the Seahawks defense and it is, I honestly can't. Can you imagine being like a Ryan Tannehill or Derek Carr right now?
No,
like they're like our age. Like they actually probably have a little bit of juice left in the tank. I cannot imagine that Derek Carr or Ryan Tannehill, like, they just weren't hit up about this. They literally, Philip Rivers hasn't played football in 5 years.
Yeah.
COVID. It was the COVID season.
Yeah. No, he's been old forever. Like he played at the same time as like Tom Brady. He was there was a draft day swap between him and Eli Manning. Like that's what you need to fucking remember.
Yeah, the Roethlisberger, Rivers, Eli Manning draft. That was 2004, I think.
Something like that. That's insane, dude.
I mean,
it really is insane.
He was in camp battles with Drew Brees. Like, it is just, it's absurd to think about how long this man has been in football and has been out of football for as long as he has been, and now he's coming back. So I'm sure there's nothing that could possibly go wrong. And the NFL really cares about, player safety and long-term health. So I'm sure they'll be all over that. But today, we're actually going to talk about what's important. We will get to our NBA Cup predictions at the end of this episode. We'll try to get them in before. Actually, you know what? Let's just lead with the NBA Cup predictions.
Okay.
Because by the time this episode's over, the Cup will have tipped off. The playoffs will have tipped off for the Cup, and it feels like cheating.
No, it's the playoffs. Like
the playoffs. It actually supersedes.
The playoffs are starting right now.
Right. I was going to say, it is the postseason in a way. It is. It's the mid-season postseason. Yep. And so I just wanted to run through our predictions, because otherwise, if we wait until the end of this episode, that's kind of cheating. Since the Miami Orlando game tips. Oh no, it might be the New York Toronto game.
No, it's Miami Orlando. I'm looking at the thing.
Okay, so Miami Orlando. We know. Obviously, I predicted Milwaukee to win the whole thing. So I couldn't have seen Taurean Prince's injury coming, to be fair. The thing that has really derailed the Bucks in their NBA Cup chances
Yeah.
How are you going to win without both Taurean Prince and Darvin Ham? That's the thing that I really didn't see coming. So I think I get a little bit of a pass on that one.
I did really bad. I also similarly, I didn't realize that Nick Nurse was going to bury Kyle Lowry this way when I picked the Sixers to advance.
One of the best per minute players in the NBA this year. Not a joke, by the way. I don't know if you've looked at the stats. Kyle Lowry has legitimately been one of the best per minute players. Now, has he played like 15 minutes of basketball against mostly the worst teams in the NBA? Yes.
Yes.
But he has undeniably been one of the best per minute players in the NBA this season, Kyle Lowry. Speaking of elder millennials who probably should, for elder abuse purposes, should not be allowed on a court. But so the first game is Heat Magic. Second game is Knicks Raptors. That is in the East. So let's just get up top with our predictions. Keep in mind, for the Magic, no Franz Wagner. Luckily, dodged a huge bullet with that. It looked like it was a really horrific knee injury. Turned out to be a high ankle sprain. Basically, the best case scenario for Franz and the Magic. So really happy to see that. After that footage came out, I was like, oh my God, this might be like a career-altering knee injury. So that's obviously good, but he will not be playing in these cup games. Even before this injury,
he's got to play through that. No, he's got to play through that, man.
It is the cup.
It's the cup, yeah.
If it were the NBA Finals, would you play through it? Then you got to play through it for the cup.
You got to play through for the cup, man. This is the postseason. We are in the postseason.
The postseason, mid-season, postseason,
preseason, post-season,
post-preseason, exactly.
Yeah.
So I already had a bad feeling about this when I saw Miami versus Orlando, even before Franz got hurt. When I saw this, I was like, the Heat feel like cup risers. They dominate the play-in every year.
Yeah.
This is a team that knows single elimination tournament formats better than anyone. Yeah. Coaching advantage. Obviously, the Franz injury is a huge part of this. So I will be taking the Miami Heat, sadly, to beat the Orlando Magic today. I'm hoping Anthony Black proves to be wrong, and he ends up leading them to a victory because he's clearly their best player without Franz, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Like, if you look at the metrics, that's probably what they would tell you, right? Him or Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, one of those two players. Yeah.
If you go down, it's like Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane. Then you probably get to like Wendell.
Jace isn't in their rotation, but I think in the future could definitely be in this argument.
He could rise up to be like an important guy for them. Oh, and then Goga, obviously. I knew we were forgetting somebody.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Yeah, no.
Is Mo Wagner going to be back here soon too?
Well, he tore his ACL, so he actually did not dodge the bullet that his brother.
Well, but isn't he due back though? That was a while ago. Like
he'll come back at some point this season.
I did back soon.
I did see that. I just sorted by EPM, and I see Goga's actually their third best player. So
okay, that's big facts. I will also be taking Miami Heat. I also just kind of think this is like a little bit of a bad matchup. A little bit like besides, I guess they do have Suggs and Black, but like they don't have I don't think of them as having like great perimeter defenders, especially like with like Franz out like on the side, like quick, I guess I would say. Like I feel like this is not a good matchup for Orlando, to be like totally honest, because they're so like physical, and maybe they like get them back on the other end, like maybe Paolo like dropping the bit. Like the Heat, I don't think the Heat have anyone who can guard Paolo like necessarily. Like I think Khalil Ware would have a really hard time with it. I think they might start with Bam on him, honestly, like with Khalil Ware on Wendell or something like that. Like I just feel like, but I just feel like the Heat, there's just too much juice. I think Orlando's still trying to figure stuff out. They're not really healthy. Obviously no Franz really hurts because nobody can fucking create a shot on that team besides Tim and like Suggs a little bit. So,
and we know that Tyler Hero, look, does he suck in the playoffs? Yes, but in the play-in, he's an absolute demon. He's one of the best play-in players of all time. And if he's a good play-in player, I'm gonna assume that he's a good NBA Cup player.
Yeah, he had 30 points against us in the bubble. You know what I'm saying? This is a very bubble-like atmosphere, I feel like. So,
the best basketball imaginable.
Yeah. It's facts.
That's exactly what you mean by that.
The highlight of my that Raptors Celtics series was one of the great NBA postseasons, but it was in the bubble, so it will be lost to memory.
Are you happy that we get some East Coast supremacy with the start time of these games?
Yes, I love this. I love this so much. I am going to be locked in.
6 p.m. and 8:30. That's like literally Sam
Beautiful.
Sheehan scheduled timing.
It's perfect. It's perfect. I couldn't be happier right now.
Hey, listen to all your complaints.
Yeah, finally, they're giving me some juice. Everyone's going to realize that this is awesome. Even the West Coast foul little creatures will be like, "Oh, this is nice."
Oh,
I get
3 p.m. start
at work.
Great.
I get to watch this at work. That's
Sure.
You don't care. Like nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter.
Your boss will make an exception for the NBA Cup. He understands the stakes.
Just watch it on your phone. You have a TV in your pocket. It's fine. Relax.
It's good for you. So Knicks Raptors is the other game in the East. Mm-hmm. I did see Deuce McBride and Landry Shamet are out for this game. I believe RJ Barrett is also still out with a knee injury.
I might have to take an L on this one. I was like making fun of like how bad RJ Barrett's like advanced stats were. They've like their offense has like detonated without him, dude. Like and shout out to Raptors Report who replied to me when I was like dunking on RJ and was like, no, he's like kind of a huge part of our offense. And I'm owned. Like he was like, they cannot fucking score. In the Celtics game the other night, like it was like literally just Scotty Barnes' strength was like that was like the entire scoring plan was like, Scotty Barnes is gonna like weight room somebody. And like,
was there any additional commentary from any players on the Celtics about that?
Nope, I don't believe so. I don't believe any of them weighed in on any of that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Brown. No. He don't have internet.
He very specifically does have internet now. Unfortunately, he just has streamer brain.
I don't think he knows what that word means. I don't think he knows what that word means. I genuinely don't.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I also just want to point out here. Speaking of streaming, RIP to Playback. I can't believe you're leaving us alone with StreamYard. We're gonna pour one out for our friends over at Playback. Genuinely, they were amazing working with them the last few years. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, sounds like they're going to be moving in a different direction. They're going to be shutting down the platform later this week. I am doing at least one more. I think I'm going to do one last stream on Wednesday night. I already have that one scheduled for the radioactive stream, but that will be the last Playback stream. And then we'll move because it's shutting down Friday. So we'll move everything over to YouTube and Twitch moving forward. So follow us on there if you don't already. I'm sure you already follow us on YouTube, but yeah, no, shout out to Playback. Very sad. I couldn't imagine being a streamer. It's honestly disgusting that Jaylen Brown would be a streamer. Yeah, like probably the most like deplorable thing about Jaylen Brown. But the Knicks Raptors. I said before when we were picking this, I think I if I remember correctly, I do think I picked the Knicks. I don't think I picked the Raptors. But I had a gut feeling about the Raptors being a good Cup team. I was just like, yeah, these guys really give a shit.
I think I did too. But maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know if either of us picked them to get here, but I felt like we both thought that they could be Cup risers.
Yeah.
Because they're youngish, relatively in their prime. They genuinely do try really fucking hard. Like, a lot of good motors on this team. A lot of guys who, put in the work. And that's what the Cup's all about ultimately. Having said that, this Knicks team is now, when their starters are healthy, they're probably the second or third best team in the NBA when their starters are healthy. I mean, they've been absolutely dominant anytime OG Anunoby is on the court this year, and he is playing tonight. Mm-hmm. So I will be taking the New York Knicks to advance. By the way, I don't know if you're aware of this. I think the Knicks have gotten to the semifinals. I might be wrong here. They made a loss in the quarterfinals one year, but they've gotten to the quarterfinals of the semifinals every year of the Cup so far. And I think they've gotten to the semifinals every year. So they might be, they need to get over the hump this year. This is their chance.
Yeah.
This is like,
folks ain't going to keep being patient with you.
Jalen Brunson loves cookies.
Yeah.
Getting his dad hired.
And all those things. Good. That was all cool, but
signing all his college friends.
We give that grace to young players. Man.
This is the time. You think about when you think about cup windows, you know what I mean? You think about like this is the time for the Knicks to seize the opportunity. This is the year for the Cleveland Cavs. If they don't make the Eastern Conference Finals, they probably have to blow it up in some capacity. This is the year for the Knicks. If they don't win the cup or at least get to the finals, you got to start asking questions about what this team's really made of. Do they have the DNA to be champions? Yeah. And I think the answer is a definitive no if they lose sometime.
Like this shit might work. Like you might be able to get to like the Eastern Conference Finals or some fake bullshit like that. But like when it comes to getting to the cup finals, like you better lock the fuck in, buddy, and get this together. I agree with you, by the way. I also think the Knicks are just playing better. Like I think, unfortunately, it seems like Toronto kind of got caught at like a bad time for this. Like it feels like they're kind of discombobulated a little bit. And I think it's going to be really hard for them to get back on track against the Knicks. I actually probably would have picked Toronto if it weren't for like kind of how these teams have been like playing recently, but I like got to see the Raptors pretty recently, and like the Celtics were kind of fucking killing them and like let the Raptors get back in the game like on their own fault. Like I really don't think the Raptors are kind of going the wrong direction right now. And, you know, maybe they figure it back out when like RJ Barrett comes back and end up like settling in as like a solid playoff team. But I just think for this one game right now, I'm picking the Knicks just because I think they're just playing better right now.
It's incredible that Brandon Ingram has sped run his entire existence in the NBA in 2 months with the Raptors. Like he literally went from like Kevin Durant 2.0 again. Maybe Brandon Ingram has found his place with the Toronto Raptors. Every few years we find a new guy that, you know, gets a new setting and plays a new role, and then he stopped shooting 62% from the mid-range, and everyone's like,
Jordan Poole has found his role with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Honestly, this has been the best stretch of his career since 2022, I would say.
What's the Pelicans record, by the way? I know he hasn't been playing, but
he hasn't played in the last month and a half. That's why I said it's been the best stretch of his career since 2022. He's been doing a really good job hyping the team up. Unfortunately, they need him late in these games to, you know, hit the courtside baddie shots. But no, so I'm gonna go. My both of us go Knicks Heat here in the semifinals.
Yeah.
In the East.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I hate when we agree, but
Cup rivalry, like a lot of stakes here. Obviously, you're looking now. I know Jalen Brunson is an Eagles fan. I know it's not a great time to be an Eagles fan right now.
Why? What happened?
Nothing. Everything's fine. No one's mad at all.
They're bringing the bunny to the Knicks.
Jalen Brunson is dressing up as the positivity rabbit before
the positivity rabbit is coming
before the NBA Cup to get the team excited. It worked perfectly for the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So the comparison I was going to make here, they lose in the semifinals to the Heat. This is starting to look a lot like the 2000s Eagles. You know, losing the NFC Championship game every year, just the NBA Cup version of those 2000s Eagles. And I'm just telling you.
Okay.
That team never got over the hump. I'm starting to worry about the Knicks getting over the NBA Cup hump. But the Knicks and the Heat, one game, I will say I do think great coaching matchup, really good. I think I'm going to trust in, assuming that OG plays and this team is relatively healthy. I'm going to say they get over the hump and they get to the Cup Finals this year. Although I do think that the Heat are kind of built for the Cup. This new play style, the way they've been playing this season. I know they've also trailed off a little bit recently, but you got Spo in a 1-game scenario. But I'm going to say Jalen Brunson leads his team to the NBA Cup Finals finally.
I think the curse continues. I think that this, unfortunately, this Miami Heat squad, I think they lock in for this. I think they're the ultimate cup risers. I think the New York Knicks are going to be looking past this to things that don't matter as much, quite frankly, like the NBA Finals. So, and
the NBA Finals.
Yeah, the NBA Finals. There's a championship right in front of you, dude. How about you take care of that first of all? But no, I think this Heat team, I think it's going to be very interesting to see this Heat team kind of like match up with them. I feel like the Miami Heat against Karl Anthony Towns just feels like a Towns disaster class waiting to happen.
That is a good point.
So, waiting to happen. You've got Bam, you've got Ware, you've got a lot to throw at him. I mean, maybe Jalen Brunson gets some of their, some of their guards in trouble, but like I've got a lot of the auto shooter spawner that they have has, spawned up Apella Larson. And which one do they have? They have Fontecchio, and then
the funniest thing about the new Miami Heat white guys is that like Larson isn't even that good of a shooter. He's just and like Jovic isn't either. Like they're just kind of like all around. I'm like, all right. 5 years ago, I had a famous tweet that was Spo has more white shooters than 4chan.
Yeah,
and that's not even the case anymore. They're not even like Duncan Robinson white boys. They're like well-rounded white boys now. They got elements to their game. These
are the dribble penetration guys. But
Jaime's Latino, Latinx.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
So the Cavs of the Cup, Billy said in the comments, by the way. That's what the Knicks the Knicks allegations
they are the
Cavs of the Cup. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Absolutely need to beat those allegations. So in the West now, so you're picking Miami, I'm picking New York for the Cup finals. Yes. In the West now, we have the Suns, the upstart surprise Suns, who have been taking the league by storm this year. Another win against the Wolves without Devin Booker last night. They beat
they kind of own the Wolves. Like that's kind of crazy.
In the Cup, they had that crazy comeback in the Cup. They've been this new upstart Suns team has figured them out seemingly. But also remember they did go undefeated against them in the regular season 2 years ago and got swept in the playoffs by the Wolves. I just want to point that out. Different team, obviously, but so the Suns and the Thunder, what are you thinking about this one?
I think the Thunder are rare in that I think they are a defending championship squad that is extremely try hard about a lot of things. I think they're going to be locked the fuck in for this Cup. I think that they are going to be. It's very important to them that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander say something like "job's not finished" in like the post game conference or something like that, and everybody like stands around and talks about how like, cool it is. Like this is a massive opportunity to Aura Farm, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are not going to let this go to waste. So I think they're going to kick the Suns' teeth in. To be totally honest, I don't even think this is going to be close.
They beat the Jazz by 30 without Shai and without basically all of their starters except for Chet and J-Dub the other night. They've been rolling. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, I actually think the Suns are going to keep it somewhat close. I think the Suns. This is basically they understand the stakes and they know that this is just as important, if not more important, than the NBA Finals itself. But I do think that ultimately the Thunder they're built for this. I mean, they made it to the Cup Finals last year. They're looking for revenge this year. I'm taking the Thunder to advance, and
I just think because the Suns' whole thing is like they've had the Dillon Brooks culture transformation, right? Like they're the hustle team. That shit does not work against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, I'm sorry. Like, do you think when Lou Dort is like smashing Devin Booker in the face, you think there's going to be any like foul calls at all for it's not gonna
I don't know if Booker's even going to play. We'll see. He's been out of the lineup with an injury, which honestly I almost think that them turning it into a game of football might be the only way that the Suns can kind of hang in this game. So we'll see if I mean, they definitely don't have a chance without Devin Booker. But
I was just gonna say, like Jalen Green against fucking Caruso.
Jalen Green's not playing right now either. He hasn't played. He's been out for weeks. He's played 2 games. He got hurt. He got hurt in his second game of the season, and he re-aggravated his hamstring injury.
That's why they're good. Oh, all right.
He's only played a game and a half all year. It's
I
the
didn't know
first.
that. That's
It's legitimately hilarious that for years him being an Iron Man on the Rockets made them worse,
yes, yes.
and now he's off the Rockets and he can't play games. Like he got
Okay,
injured.
well, actually, I feel a little better about it. Colin Gillespie, GOAT. Like, I need you to lock in. I think you've got this.
The thing that's tough is that if you're going to beat the Thunder, you have to have. I'm going Bill mode a little bit here, but you have to have someone who can go toe to toe with Shea at the end of these games with shot making. You have to have a Jokic or a Luka or someone that is just.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And last night they almost blew the lead to the Wolves because it's literally just like Colin Gillespie, I believe in you. And while he's been awesome this year, that's not really his game. So I do think that you need someone that can go toe to toe. And in a close game, which I imagine this will be, I'll take the team that has Shea on it. The Spurs and the Lakers are the other matchup. No Wemby, maybe. I mean, we haven't gotten any updates. It's been really weird. It didn't seem like he was going to be out this long, and now he's been out this long. But their guards finally got a chance to play together recently, and they've all looked like Dylan Harper's been. I know he had one really rough game, but I was looking at his rim attempt numbers, dude. Yeah. His rim attempt numbers are like historically. The State of the League podcast, I saw a clip they posted, and they said that he's not obviously as athletic or fast as him, but in terms of like rim pressure, it's like rookie John Wall shit, where it's like he just like gets into the paint and like finishes around the basket basically whenever he wants. He's top 5 in attempts at the rim by guards per game, and he only plays 22 minutes a game.
That's
so like
crazy.
When you scale his number up to 30, 35, he's going to be like breaking records for getting to the rim and finishing around the basket as a rookie. So he's been incredible. Castle's first game back was last night. Fox has looked great to start the year. Like this Spurs team, I mean, I underestimated them a little bit just because of the fit. And I kind of just said Wemby's going to be the reason that they're great. And they've been good with Wemby, and they've been really good without him too. So
yeah, that's it. I was gonna say, do we draft Jonathan in the OU and apology draft later on?
It's possible, very possible
for disrespecting Randall and the Spurs.
Our resident Spurs fan tried to tell us.
Yeah.
No. Mitch Johnson. Honestly, we didn't shout him on the Coach of the Year list. He probably should be on there.
No, I'm fine with that.
I think he should. Dude, they've been good without Wemby. Like I thought this team was gonna not be good without Wemby. Like, and they've been. I don't think they've lost a game. They might have lost one game without Wemby.
That is true. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say if. Also, maybe we were a little bit premature because Wemby was clip farming earlier in the year. But I mean, there's still moments where, man, he is.
I mean, their entire team are demonic true shooting. Do you know who is the worst player to play more than the two worst players to play more than 100 minutes this year on their team in true shooting percentage?
Jeremy Sohan's got to be up there because
Jeremy Sohan's is 56.5.
That's not very good for a power forward, but it's fine. Yeah.
He's
Keldon Johnson.
He is third worst though. No, Keldon Johnson has a horrific 2-point. Or no, he's not. No, Keldon Johnson's been good. He's 65. He's been.
I know Harrison Barnes been on another. He's literally leading the league in true shooting at one point. So
actually, Keldon Johnson has a higher true shooting than Harrison Barnes right now, which is very funny.
Wow. Who are the players?
It's Carter Bryant has a 42 true shooting, which is bad. And then
he doesn't really play all that much for them.
He's played 100 minutes though. He's played 142 minutes. And Dylan Harper is actually the lowest with 54.9. Everybody else on the team in the rotation is shooting better than Dylan Harper. And we just talked about how good Dylan Harper is. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He still can't shoot threes, but he's just such a good paint touch guy.
But this is what I'm saying about the Spurs. Like the Spurs are just, everyone's out of their fucking mind right now, like shooting the ball. Like it's crazy. Their efficiency numbers are crazy.
By the way, speaking of OU and apology draft, would you like to go on the record and apologize to the Arizona head coach who didn't play Carter Bryant a ton of minutes last year? because I tried to tell you this guy's one of the worst offensive players I've ever seen.
That's fine. He's a 20-year-old. I could not be less worried. I could not be less worried about Carter Bryant and this thing. Well, I'm going to remember this. This is
Write it down. You can. I feel very confident in how I felt about Carter Bryant pre-draft.
Okay, this is like for any nerds in the audience, this is like the Telltale games. Trill just made the decision to antagonize Sam about Carter Bryant, and a little thing has popped up that says Sam will remember this. So
Fair.
for like later in the game, like later in your playthrough, Trill, perhaps there will be dire consequences for this.
Carter Bryant's going to go off in the 2015 Eastern Conference Finals.
He got a time machine. He's going back into the 2015 Eastern Conference Finals, and he's going beast mode in there.
So I will be taking. Wow, that's actually crazy. Carter Bryant has 1 assist in 142 minutes. That's crazy.
He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it, man.
Play finisher.
The efficiency numbers don't lie. Like hockey. What about his hockey assists? He's setting the table.
Look, guys with the last name Bryant famously never passed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's Carter Bean Bryant.
Yeah, thank you for knowing that I was talking about Thomas Bryant.
Thomas Bryant.
So, all right, Spurs or Lakers? Who you taking?
I think this is the Lakers. This seems like something LeBron will care a lot about.
He's got to get another line on the Wikipedia entry. It's high. It lists high on the Wikipedia.
Oh, wait, hasn't he already won one?
Yeah, this would be the second time in 3 years. He has a
dynasty.
LeBron has to prove that he can win the cup without Darvin Ham, in my opinion.
The cup dynasty
just like forever, people argue who did more, Brady or Belichick.
Brady or Belichick, is it Ham or LeBron?
Ham or Braun?
Torian Prince.
I do just want to address something. People were like, wow, Trill said LeBron was washed, and then he went off against the Sixers. I watched the game because I missed the first half, and then I only was able to catch the second half. I went back and rewatched that game. Brother, if you don't think that man is physically washed still, then you don't know what you're watching. He literally made I think he made 11 shots or 12 shots all night. 9 of them were jumpers because he couldn't get by anyone. I'm like, if LeBron James can't miss from 3, then yeah, you're probably going to lose. Like, yeah. I'm not saying LeBron isn't a good basketball player anymore. He will be a good basketball player until the day that he dies.
Yeah.
It is legitimately.
And even then, he'll probably have some scoring gravity in like a Weekend at Bernie's style situation.
So you roll him out there.
Yeah.
People, you're not going to just leave LeBron James wide open unless Austin Reeves has the ball at the top of the key. But I did get a kick out of that. LeBron was great in that game, though. That was definitely his best game by a mile so far this season. But I'm still like, I don't think LeBron's at an all-NBA level and will not be for the rest of the season. But anyway, the LeBron, Danny Green, James. That's perfect. Yeah. We got Rui Hashimoto by LeBron James. But I'm also sadly gonna have to take the Lakers. I do like this Spurs team a lot, though. They're a lot of fun to watch. But this Lakers team, I mean, I don't think Luka takes the cup seriously, unfortunately, but I know Austin Reeves and LeBron will, and that's ultimately what matters here. So I'll say Lakers win this one. So we both have Lakers Thunder as our semifinals. Who are you taking?
Again, the aura farming opportunities are just too much. I don't think Luka is going to take it seriously. I think Shea will take it extremely, extremely seriously, but more serious than he's taken anything in his entire life. He's going to be performatively yelling at people after this game, saying we should have won by more. He's going to have Rosencrantz and Guilderstern come over and in the Jalen Williams to go ooh and ah about his stuff. Like, this is the Thunder are locked in on the cup this year. Unfortunately, I think the Thunder are a little bit of a cup like juggernaut. The way everybody else feels about the Thunder in the NBA finals, I feel about them in the cup. This is their championship.
So you're taking them over the Heat?
Yeah. Yeah. And I will be taking them over the Heat. I think that unfortunately this is a runaway or a farm train.
Right. Unfortunately, I just realized that I have the same cup finals as I have for the NBA finals.
Heat?
No,
Knicks.
I picked Thunder.
Knicks
Preseason
Knicks
was
Thunder,
my finals prediction.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go and say Adam Silver rigs the whistle in favor of the Lakers for the cup finals.
Oh, you mean he calls the game normally? That's crazy.
All I'm saying is that I've never seen Tyrese Maxey get a technical foul for yelling at the refs over fouls. And he did it. He almost got 2 the other night in the Lakers game because of the way that game was called. I'm just saying the Lakers will be advancing to the cup finals. It will be Lakers Knicks. We'll get our big market cup finals.
Okay. Wow.
Luka will shoot 23 free throws in that game. And then everyone who has been posting crying for years about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's whistle will now have to look inward and say,
Dog, how bad is that Thunder Lakers game going to be? That is going to be unwatchable.
It can't be worse than the Thunder Rockets game last year. The Thunder Rockets game in the semifinals was legitimately the worst game one of the worst games ever. Bro, the final score was like 89-79.
This is going to be even worse, dude. No, I think this
was a rock fight.
I think this is going to be even worse, to be totally honest. Like, Austin Reeves is going to get his head clubbed in by Lou Dort on his way to this is like a real unstoppable force, immovable object, just in terms of like free throws. What happens at a Lakers Thunder?
It's possible they break the NBA record for free throws in this game.
Like I if you love watching practice shots, lock in for that game, man.
So I'm going Lakers Knicks in the finals, and I picked the Thunder to win the NBA finals. I think they come up short in the cup. And I think that the Lakers and the Knicks go head to head. And I picked the Knicks to lose in the NBA finals to the Thunder this year. I'm taking them to lose again in the cup finals, baby.
Let's go. Wow.
Lakers, second time in 3 years. LeBron gets another line on the Wikipedia entry. Mavericks fans get to cry about the Luka trade one more time. Everyone wins here. They sell high on Austin Reeves for Giannis at the deadline.
There's the sheen of the NBA. They get a chance to have a guy who was the best player. He wins Cup MVP.
You're telling me the Darvin Ham, Taurean Prince team is going to be able to resist trading for Austin Reeves fresh off an NBA Cup?
Cup MVP. He could be Cup MVP.
He could be.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna be locked in for that cup, folks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's get into what we came here to do, which is I was not familiar with your game draft. We owe some players an apology.
Yeah.
Players, now we're about almost a quarter of the way through the season. There are some players that we might have underestimated coming into this year in general in the NBA. There are plenty of players that I think have performed way above our expectations this season and made development this year. So I'll give you the first pick if you would like, or you could defer to me. It's up to you. I owe you an apology. I was not familiar with your game draft.
I think this one, because it's not really objective, because we're kind of responsible for our own takes. So I don't think we're going to have a ton of overlap, like with some of these guys. Let's start with the Spurs, because we already talked about them. I'm actually going to take a guy we've already mentioned on the podcast, and I'm going to take Keldon Johnson at the top of this draft, because I thought he was like the worst, most dog shit player. I really did not think he was very good. I thought his $20 million salary was like basically filler and like an expiring contract. I thought he was an empty calories guy. And he's been like, not great, but like pretty good this whole year. Every time I've watched the Spurs, I've been like, wow, Keldon Johnson like looks pretty good. Like I've been like, who is that? Like, and I'll Google like, hey, who's whatever Keldon Johnson's number is. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've done that twice this year when I've watched the Spurs, where I've had to like Google who is number whatever, and it's Keldon Johnson, because he's stood out and he's looked really good. That we talked about his shooting percentage. He's still not great from 3, but he's been like pretty good on a lot of these. I think he's like he's pretty high up there in like a lot of the metrics. I think he's like top 30 in like VORP or BPM or like one of those, and like some of these other ones. Like, and he's been like kind of quietly like very steady for the Spurs. So like part of this is just that I thought he was like not an NBA player or like not a very good or impactful one, and he's been like a very good NBA rotation player this year. So Keldon Johnson, I owe you an apology.
So Keldon Johnson is averaging 24 minutes a game. In those 24 minutes, he's shooting 68% from 2 to start the year. He's always been someone who's been pretty good from 2 the last few years, 53%, 52%, 51, 54. His rookie year, he was he was 57, 53, 52. I was reading effective field goal percentage. His rookie year, he shot 59% from 2. And this has been obviously his best year shooting from 2. The other thing about him, we've talked about the importance of offensive rebounding and creating new possessions in the modern NBA. In 24 minutes a game, he's averaging 2 offensive rebounds per game. For his career, he's averaging 1.3. So the last 2 years, 1.5, 1.4. So he's creating extra possessions. Defensively, I think that Keldon is still just like a whatever player. The thing with him is it's always just been kind of his decision making, but if he's effective in his role as a scorer and a rebounder for a team that plays a ton of guards, I didn't really know how he was going to fit in with this team. He's kind of always floated between being like a guard and a forward anyway in the NBA because of the rebounding. But the thing about Keldon Johnson this year is that I expected him to kind of be out of the rotation.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know, because I just looked at the team and I was like, oh, you have Castle, Fox, Vassell. I figured he was going to be the odd man out at 5. I know Champagne's more of a wing than a guard, but a lot of guys that just play the 2, the 3, and I didn't know where he was going to fit at all on this team. And he has had a really nice start to the season for the Spurs. I do just want to say, I wondered this, like just watching, I got this from the Sixers a little bit this year, and I know Castle's been out recently, but when you have guards, especially when you have guards like Johnson and Castle, who are a little bit closer to like wing sized and do wing things. Like I've noticed this with VJ and Grimes specifically, where like they're really good defenders. They're about 6'5". They have 6'7" wingspans. They can rebound. They can make open shots. They can. The guard / wing, the G wings, have kind of been having a moment in the NBA. Like between the Thunder last year, between the fact that like everyone kind of got obsessed with overvaluing the mid-tier wings in the NBA, where people were paying them a ton of money on contracts or they were trading for a bunch of stuff for them. We've talked about like the importance of wings and how there's only so many, especially when you get to the playoffs. But if you have all these guys that are kind of tweeners that can do wing things that might be playing, in a guard size body or whatever, like I do think that can prove to be super effective, especially over the course of a long regular season when we've like the motor shit we've talked about is extremely important to survive in the modern NBA, because it is truly becoming like a game of attrition at this point. And just having guys like Keldon Johnson, who someone commented on an episode recently, they were like, he's just kind of the kind of player that you need to live with the bumps with his game, where he's going to have some really bad games and he's going to have some really good games, and it all even comes out in the wash, evens out over the course of a season. But no, yeah, he started the season really well. I do wonder what it looks like when this whole team is healthy and like where he fits, because they've kind of had I don't even know if it's not great injury luck, because everyone's just hurt all the time in the NBA now. But like Fox missed time, Castle missed time, Harper missed time, Wemby missed time. What does it look like when this whole team is healthy is my question. Like, does he play more than 15 minutes a game? And I don't know what the answer is to that.
I'll say this. I'll offer a broader apology to the Spurs as a whole. Harper's going to be fine. I was kind of more Harper skeptical in a lot of these things. I didn't think the rim pressure stuff would translate like this cleanly, like this quickly. He's like a special, really special, like rim talent, and I'm gonna eat that L immediately. He's my like Chet 2 years ago, my other one, like where I watch him I watched 2 games of Harper. I was like, oh, I was fucking wrong. He's very clearly like watching him on an NBA court. Everything I was worried about, it's like, no, it'll be fine. Like even if he's like forever a 29% 3-point shooter, he will figure it out. He's that good. And
yeah, I was gonna say the things that I worried about with him were more attached to his ceiling. I always felt like he was like a super high floor player just because of the rim pressure and the size and the ball handling ability and like the fact that he was kind of just like a walking paint touch at 6'5". Like those guys rarely ever fail. Like I just felt like the ceiling stuff with him was always attached to how good can the off the dribble shooting get? Because he still has not really proven that he can score outside of the paint and outside of that area off the dribble.
To be fair, he hasn't really been asked to.
He hasn't needed to, but if you want to talk about like reaching like playoff level superstar, you need to be able to do that. The thing I worry about with both Castle and Harper is like, I know they're going to be very good NBA players for a long time that can potentially impact winning, but I don't know what their ceilings look like until I can see them become more reliable as shooters off of the dribble. And now they're playing on the same team, funny enough, but the both of them are guys that just kind of live as rim pressure threats and can get to the line and the rim at will. And Castle more so to the line and Harper more so to the rim. But I mean, like, yeah, he's been everything that's been advertised so far in his career, and it kind of opens up everything for his game.
Yeah, I thought he was going to need more time and like reps to develop, and I was like really worried about like Fox blocking him and going to this specific context. And obviously, like he and Fox, like there's, it's working pretty fine. And he honestly hasn't even really needed to get acclimated, to be like totally honest. So that like, I thought he was going to need a couple of years to like develop, to like, I thought we weren't going to see something like this until like year 3. And he's already, like you just laid out, a one of near the top and like all these rim pressures. He will be turbo fine. Like he could be, like I said, 29% 3-point shooter, and he would still be fine in the NBA. He's going to be a max contract player no matter what. So
yeah, he's definitely translated pretty much immediately. And one of the things that I think Bill talked about this, and this was my thought when we talked about it during the draft process, was like the fact that he, like, I'm watching VJ Edgecombe right now, and VJ, while he still is kind of, he can impact the game in a number of ways, but he's still very clearly growing into his body in a way that Harper isn't. Like Harper already has an NBA build and is like filled out. Like that's going to take VJ probably 2 to 3 years. And a lot of these guys fears some other guys in this draft that are going to have to fill out in order to become NBA level like starter players.
Or in Derek Queen's case, Phil somewhere. I don't know. Like Derek Queen, I love
stay you, King.
Yeah,
you're perfect the way you are.
Is Derek Queen? Does he zag? Does he get even bigger?
You are beautiful in every single way. Words can't break you down. He said fuck a top 3 pick next year. I'm him.
He really. I mean, like it is. I am glad for Pelicans fans that like. I mean, it's obviously it's dog shit to like lose that pick, kind of no matter what. But like, at least Queen is really good. Like, and at least Fierce is really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, both those guys were really good. Like, so
yeah. I mean, the thing that we can look at now, which is very funny that it happened the way that it happened.
Yeah.
I think that the Pelicans ultimately, as long as that pick isn't one of the top 2 picks in the draft or top 3 in this next draft, will probably end up being totally. They'll be fine either way. Right. But the teams that really should be kicking themselves over that are the teams that turned down that trade, which is like the Bulls, who just lost Noah Essengay for his rookie season already, and he was already not someone who saw the floor as a rookie. I mean, he was always going to be a long-term bet as a player. Like, I wasn't crazy about him as a prospect, but if you were drafting him, you were always drafting him for long-term potential. The Suns, who they haven't played Malawatch at all, they turned down that trade. Like, there are many teams in that range that should have done what the Hawks did, and they didn't, and they probably will come to regret that. But I can't remember who it was. I apologize if you remember, if you could comment and tell me who it was who said this, but someone said it's very funny that they basically found Zion with a sustainable playing
Style. Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Like basically Derek Queen is just Zion if he didn't have all these, knock on wood, lower body injuries, and he didn't rely on like explosive athleticism and jumping out the gym shit. Like they're very similar players, which is why I didn't get it at all when they drafted him. But now that they might move on from Zion, and actually that fit did work well early in their careers. Like I think long term that Queen is, to me, like everything I liked about Queen in the draft, I was a little bit higher on him than you were. But like I think I had him at like 8 on my board. But
I liked him. My whole line was like, I love him. I just think it's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna like. I don't think it's gonna work in the NBA. Like I was very charmed by Queen. I wanted him to do well.
My whole concern with him was everything we've talked about with the defense and the rebounding and all that shit. And I don't really think that stuff's going to matter because all of the offensive stuff is translated, and he hasn't even been able to shoot threes, which I think he will be able to long term.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, to me, if you ask me, I think it's very obvious he has one of the 2 or 3 best ceilings in this class.
You were consistent on that too. Yeah. Like you said, him and Fears were like 2 of the star swings in this draft. Like
the boomer bust guys, apparently fucking Troy Weaver was listening to those episodes. I was very worried about the downside with both of those guys, but they certainly both have star qualities, and I hope they can live up to them. I have an apology up top that I need to. Someone just made fun of you for hating on every second overall pick in the draft. Chet, Harper, I owe second overall pick in the draft. That apology. Someone who I originally liked in the draft and I talked myself out of throughout the course of the whole cycle, which was Alex Sarr, has been, I wouldn't say a revelation because the Wizards are still a fucking mess, but Alex Sarr is finally starting to live up to the potential and the flashes and all the stuff that pre-draft I had originally thought about him, and other people that were higher on him, like Maxwell, when he came on our podcast, was basically telling us like he has a chance to be really special defensively. He is someone who is just kind of good at everything. Like the thing about him is that he doesn't necessarily have any elite skills offensively that you can kind of just point to and say, this is what will make him a potential 2-way impact guy in the NBA, but he's just kind of good at everything. He can handle the ball. He's actually gotten a lot better with the big man stuff this year. Like at one point he was leading the NBA in screen assists this year, which is crazy to me because that was the thing that I always worried about with him, was like, if he wants to play center, then he's going to have to buy into all of these center things. Like he's going to have to buy into setting screens. He's going to have to buy into boxing out and rebounding. He's going to have to buy into, being down in the paint with the larger bigs, the Zubac's, the Edis, the Jokic's. Yeah. And he still struggles with some of that stuff, but the ancillary skills with him are so special. Like he's been one of the best rim protectors. Like legitimately, he has been the best rim protector in the NBA this year. Which some of it is
crazy.
He is contesting 11 shots per game, and teams are shooting 51% on those 11 shots per game at the rim, which is the most
pretty good.
Shots per game contested in the entire NBA. So they're funneling everything to him because the perimeter defense between DJ and Middleton and Bub and all these guys has been really bad.
Funneling is probably a charitable way to describe that.
It's not Gobert, I don't think it's on purpose. I think it's just happening. Guys are just getting, they're just living at the rim because they don't have perimeter defense. And Sarr has been able to clean up a lot of those messes. Now, the deterrent stuff that will kind of determine whether he's just more of a help guy or he's an anchor of an elite defense. But even so, like a help, I think ultimately, if I were them, I know we talked about this all last year. It's very funny going back. I'm going to go back and listen to some of our draft podcasts. But even when we were both like still skeptical, we kind of talked ourselves more into Derek Queen throughout the process. One of the fits we really liked was Washington. We were like, now one of the reasons why, not only because of the Maryland thing and DC being right there, one of the reasons why was because we were like the big passing with Sar and Queen, and also the fact that both of these guys are probably going to have to play with another big. Sar can cover up for some of Queen's defensive stuff. Queen can open up the Sar's offensive game, all of that. And now I really do think that they are like the number one fit wise. They're the number one Boozer team to me, where I would love to see Boozer with the Wizards, because it's very obvious that Boozer has, and he's gotten better as the season has gone on here, but it's very obvious that Boozer is kind of inverse Sar, where Sar has more like wing qualities to him in a 7-foot body. It's the inverse with Boozer, where he very obviously, he's like a wing size guy. He's like 6'8", but he has big skills. Like I think they would work really well together as a front court, as a 4-5 duo. Like I think that those two, and Boozer's a demon rebounder. He's someone who's going to be able, he's a good defender. And then he's also going to be able to, function as a potential offensive engine. And that's what this team needs so badly. And I think Sar long-term might even have more potential than I realize. Like, I think that he might end up being someone that turns out to be like a top 30-ish player in the NBA. And I think that if they get that right number one guy on this team, he could be like a potential elite number 2 in the mold of last year's version of Evan Mobley, basically. Like in that mold of like help 4 who can really help you on both ends of the court. And I was really wrong about him, because his rookie season, I was like, man, everything I worried about with him, it's the opposite of what happened with Queen, where I liked a lot of stuff about Queen and all of it pretty much instantly translated. I felt the opposite about Sar last year, where everything I worried about translated with him, and all the stuff I like didn't really translate with him. And there were people that were like, he has these flashes, he has these games. And I was like, I need to see it more consistently. He's done it more consistently, even though the Wizards absolutely fucking suck. It's really him and George, and then nothing on that team right now. So he's really impressed me so far this year.
Trey Johnson team. Hold. We'll be back next year. Not this year. We'll take
he's already injured. So hopefully he ends up being the player that. It's very funny because I do see he is another guy though that I worry about when he's not scoring. What does he do?
I think that'll get better. I really do. Like I know we haven't like seen a lot of it though, like there and yet, but like it sounds like he's kind of a demon hard worker, and I don't know.
He is. I don't deny that.
Those guys, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I was really worried about Sar, because all of Sar's stuff was like,
I don't want to go to Atlanta. He's kind of He wants to be a perimeter player. Like, it was like all the stuff, all the red flags about Sar have like completely flipped this year.
Yes. Like I don't care anymore. And now it's like, oh, you're actually good. Okay, you can talk like that. like if you're actually good, yes, you can talk like that. Trey, like I don't know. Like Trey could suck. It hasn't looked great early on. I think
it's very, very early for Trey, and what was going to determine his ceiling was always how good of is he an outlier shooter and scorer from multiple levels. That was always what was going to determine him. But once again, we have over a year of sample, if you include college, of him doing basically nothing but scoring. And that's the thing that what I would just say concerns me.
He did go to Texas though, and Texas is like, I don't know. It's always weird with Texas guys. It's always really weird. Like even like going back to KD, like there's like, I don't think it's a good program. They're the Texas NCAA program. I still believe in Trey, I guess is what I'm saying. So, we'll see if they could get Cam Boozer.
If Trey is as good as you think he is, this is the greatest draft class of all time. Like I'm not even joking. Like, bro, the rookie class is already insane. Like we talked about like
people were. Can we talk about that? Like, would you do a quick detour on that? Because everyone,
we're talking about last year's class, and it was the opposite.
Right. Well, I'm just gonna say like last year. So because I tweeted this morning, I said that like I think this draft class is like the best that like I can remember, and I got a lot of pushback, particularly from Raptors fans. It was like, no, 2021 is like
it is. No, I don't think they're wrong there though. No,
it's very good. It's very good, but like I'm just saying, like this draft, the 2021 draft class did not look like this in year one. Like this is insane how good. What? There were a couple, like Scotty looked really good.
Mobley and Scotty were instantly starter level players.
Yes, true. There's like 7 of those guys this year, though. Like, you know, like I'm saying, like the overall quality, how quickly guys are good, even like guys contributing early, even like guys at the dog shit end of the draft, like Kalkbrenner, you know what I'm saying? Like, is like a real NBA player out of nowhere, like contributing like immediately. There's not a lot of like Danny Wolf being really good is like a very interesting one. A lot of those Nets guys we thought, Yegor Doman, like looked bad. Turns out is pretty good. Like I think people like get in their head. They see all these guys. Like obviously Franz is very good. Cade is very good. Like all of the, it's a demon draft.
Really good. I do think 2021. You're misremembering how good that class was immediately. Like I
remember Mobley, Scotty and I remember Mobley.
Cade was injured for a little bit. But it was Mobley, Scotty, Franz were like instantly really good. Now it's gotten better in time because Cade's become a superstar and because Jalen Johnson is looking the way that he is. He didn't even play as a rookie. I agree with you. I think this is the best rookie class in forever. Like I think probably since 2018, maybe rookie class. Like
we just haven't had this many guys be this good right away. And I think that bodes very well for their trajectories. Like I understand, but like,
but this is why let me say why. Okay. None of these guys, except for Queen and Fears, are going to teams where they're like, check ball, you're the guy. None of these guys are doing that. They're all going to teams that have a decent amount of talent already on them and they're performing well in their roles. I'm not saying that they don't have long-term whatever. What I'm trying to say is like most of the guys that have come into the league haven't gone to disaster situations. And we're so used to like, even guys that like, for example, like I just said 2018, Trae Young sucked out of the gate because he was on a team where they literally said, go make our whole offense for us. Yeah. And then by the end of his rookie year, he was better, but like really bad as a rookie. Like there's so much talent in the league right now and teams are playing younger guys more, but finding the right roles for them that they are not putting them in situations where they're just going to fail as much from the jump.
I think that's a better way to describe it, that they're putting guys in better roles than talented. Like I would not call the Charlotte Hornets talented, and Khan has been a demon.
Khan's been awesome. Yeah.
And I would not call the Dallas Mavericks talented. Like
I definitely would call the Dallas Mavericks more talented than your average number 1 overall team.
Like your average number 1 overall team, but we're talking about I don't know,
they have multiple starter level players on their team. Now, Lively being out kind of throws a wrench in that, but like Anthony Davis, when he plays, is still very clearly a starter. Najee Marshall's been very good this year.
He didn't play a lot of the thing, and now
Flag was horrible to start the year. Is what I'm trying to say.
Wasn't horrible. He was
horrible.
He was normal.
You were literally on here coping about it like 2 weeks ago.
He was a normal.
I said that, and you said you were the one that was coming up with the other excuses for why he wasn't as good. I was like, he's fine. He'll be fine. Don't worry. And he is. That team, by the way, that team, like he is not their offensive engine, and I think that's the right thing for him. It's very similar to the and now look, they've kind of figured out some things as the season has gone on. They've played better lineups. They've had Ryan Nembhard coming along here has been a huge help, and I'm not saying that they were a good team to start the year. What I'm saying is, if your average number 1 overall team does not ever have as much talent as this team, like the teams that are,
number 1 overall, but we're talking about like the Cavs with Mobley had like fucking Darius Garland, and then like they had like a year later they had fucking like.
But Cade was the number 1 pick in that draft, and the Pistons did not have talent.
Sure, I'm saying like number 1 overall. I'm talking about the overall like critique of like the trajectory of these guys and like what's going on. Scotty joined like a championship level core.
Yeah, that's the 4th pick in the draft. We're talking about 2 different levels here, I'm saying. And now look, with the lottery luck and the changing of the odds, I think that this can change in time. But usually if you're the 1st overall pick, you're going to a dog shit team. I don't think Flag went to a dog shit team. I think he had a learning curve when he came to the NBA, and now he figured it out because he's just a really good player.
I think they had a disaster class in terms of that team is really bad. Like I was
You
wrong
picked them
about
to
that.
make the
I know I was
playoffs.
wrong about that. I was wrong about that. Like I didn't know Lively was going to be out. I should have known Anthony Davis was going to be out. Like Najee Marshall and PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, and then
they've also had a ton of injuries this year too. Like
yeah.
I actually think they've had like an abnormal, like everyone gets hurt now. Some of it is built into the roster. Some of it is like they've probably had an abnormal amount of injuries, but also I'm not saying that's like the most talented team in the league by any means. I just think usually nowadays I think that there is an argument that like Rishi Shea got drafted to the Hawks. They weren't a disaster last year. And the way that the new lottery odds work, that you can get teams that actually they jump from 8-1 and then you hit the ground running. Like that absolutely will happen. But I really don't think that the Mavericks are like I just think that it was like a weird fitting roster, if anything.
Who's the Jalen Green in this class? Is it Trey Johnson? Is that where we're going for?
I mean, I would say if you're talking about like someone who just does that only scores that doesn't impact the game that much.
I'm just saying guys who are not good. Because
well, we don't know
sure is like not good.
I'm not. There's no one I'm sure is not good. I'm sure that I'm fairly certain that the Malwatch thing is alarming.
Like yeah, Malwatch is alarming. Would you say Ace is the Jalen Green of this draft? Maybe.
I actually don't think Ace has been that bad.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
I would agree.
The thing with Ace, and I would say, and why I worry about Ace less than I worry about Trey long term, is that when Ace isn't scoring, he can at least rebound. Like Ace is a big wing who can rebound. That if you're a big wing who can rebound and shoot, 10-year NBA career. Like that's it. Like even if you're just DeAndre Hunter or you're just whoever, like Ace will be in the NBA for a very, very long time. Yeah, I would say Trey and Malwatch are the only two of the top 10 that I'm like, and that's every draft has a lot of those guys usually. Like I don't disagree that this rookie class is like special. I'm just saying I think it's better for rookies to come into teams that have more talent than you've always argued this. Like that, like having a normal team around a guy will help them look better as rookies, and it has for a large majority of these. And sometimes guys look like rookies, or guys look like shit as rookies and are totally fine, like Sar, who I just talked about.
But this is a massive sample size of guys. Is the argument just that the league is better? Because that's fine. We're just arguing the league is just better at putting guys in good situations now.
I think it's a combination of a very good rookie class with a few guys who instantly translated, and then a lot of teams that have average talent, or average to below average talent, and they're not being put into a process Sixers or last year's Wizards situation. But once again, it didn't hurt Sar's long-term development, didn't hurt Keyshawn George's long-term development. They're both really good this year. So sure. I'm just saying, I mean, really good for second-year players. I don't know what they are long-term. But ultimately, I still owe Alex Sarr an apology. So that's...
Can I just read you starting with 6? Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga, Franz Wagner, Davion Mitchell, Zaire Williams, James Bouknight, Josh Primo.
I'm not disagreeing.
Moses Moody.
I literally just said this.
Yeah.
I literally just said, if you go through the top 10 of every class, there's usually 2 or 3 guys that either aren't NBA players or like fringe guys. And I'm not saying that this class isn't good. I'm saying the instant success is probably more due to the fact that it's a good rookie class combined with that.
I'm just saying, like, in that same range in this class, I'm not sure who's going to be bad besides like Malawach and Essengay. Like,
Trey has a chance, but we'll see.
Trey is very fucking talented. Like that same stretch is.
He'll probably be in the NBA for a very long time because he can shoot the way he can.
The same stretch is Trey Johnson, Jeremiah Fears, Yegor Doman, Colin Murray-Boyles, Malawach, who has not played yet, Cedric Coward, Essengay.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that I and we talked about this before on the Patreon episode where I said it is weird that we're getting more. I think teams are also conservative in the way that they draft now, in a way that it makes for very high floor players. And we still get guys who slip through the crack every single year in the draft, where we get guys that get drafted post 10 that become MVPs. Like, we get it. We're somehow better and worse at drafting at the same time than we ever have been.
It's fair. I'm just my critique here is I don't think that like I think it's the opposite way where people of the 2021 draft think about like, oh, these are all my guys that I really like Cade, and they forget that like Cade it was really rough for Cade like his first 2 or 3 years in the league. It was really rough for a lot of these guys. Mobley suddenly doesn't look as good. I'm just saying like the sheer number of guys who have immediately belonged is very, very out of the ordinary, I think.
Let's do a whole episode where we do 2021 versus this year, because I do think 2021 is an insane draft. And I would say it's the second best of the last decade behind 2018. I would go 2018's number 1, 2022, and then maybe this draft.
I think this draft could be good. This draft is demon hours, man. Like, I don't know. There's not a lot of guys I don't think these guys are gonna hang around. Anyway, we'll keep going. I'm just saying, put a pin in it. Everyone mark this one down, maybe, because either I'll look like a dumb asshole in 3 years or I'll look like a prophet. So
I don't know what the argument is. I literally think this is an insane draft class.
I think it's better. I think this is like a genuinely outlier draft class, and maybe the best one we've had since like 2020. Like
since what?
2003. Like
no, 2018 is literally insane, dude. 2018 has 3 MVP candidates, dude.
Oh, that's right, because it's
2018 has Shea, Luka, and Brunson. Before you
get the rest of the draft, though. What's the rest of the draft?
A lot of Jaren Jackson Jr., Trae Young, Mikal Bridges, Michael Porter Jr. That is one of the greatest draft classes of all time.
That's a good jumping off point, because in the second pick in my draft, I will be selecting Michael Porter Jr.
I had him on the graphic, so that's how I had him on my list.
Obviously. I didn't look at the graphic, but I feel like he had to be in here at some point. I'm very specifically apologizing to him for his play. He is playing very well. He is playing the game of basketball very well, and that is what I am apologizing to him for.
Sam can say this as a Curious Mike Patreon supporter.
Yeah, I've given a tier 7. Got the
Tower 7.
Tower 7.
What really happened there? Curious Mike investigates.
That would be, honestly, if he were like a 9/11 truther, that would be so much less bad than he thinks he's curious about.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, there's so much like less bad. No, I'm in the gay son or thought daughter tier of his Patreon. He's just been like awesome. Like, I really think like
he's been a demon in multiple ways.
The Nets are putting together a little bit of a wing fact. Are they becoming the Miami Heat in terms of like
wingflation, baby?
Yeah, wingflation stuff. Are they the new wingflation destination? Because like he genuinely, like, we've played the Nets. He kind of fucking dominates. Like, he's genuinely like making the right read a lot of the time. He can get a shot off whenever. I mean, this is kind of the guy you expected to see when he was like that hype draft prospect. Like,
yeah,
the back thing really hasn't hurt him. I think it's like the creation stuff is like what's kind of crazy to me. Like, I didn't really think he had
the miracle back surgery thing that like legitimately changed his life like 3 or 4 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Where that made it so that he could still remain like an NBA starter. And now he's on his new team, or a new team in a new role that we both like the trade for the Nets when they made it. But our thought was, hey, Michael Porter Jr. is still a good player. It's just, he was never going to work with the Nuggets team making way too much money. And the Nets are smart to take a bet on, possibly getting his value up to a good level, flipping him, whatever. And then they have this other pick from it. I didn't expect him to be way better than Cam Johnson this year.
Yeah.
And a year after Cam Johnson just did this on the Nets, but we talked about Jordy is probably one of those coaches, just like Will Hardy, where if dribbling is your problem, he's going to figure out a way to help with
fix it.
Which, hey, like Jaeger Doman, like that was one of the things I didn't like about him in the draft. I thought that the ball pressure stuff was going to suck for him in the NBA, but he's figured a way to mitigate both of their issues with their handle and that. I agree with you that the creation, I mean, I never thought that we would see Michael Porter Jr. having multiple 7 assist games.
It's crazy. I even like 5 assists, I didn't think was kind of pushing it for him. Like he's been genuinely, and like he really is the number 1 option, and it doesn't fucking matter. You forget how fucking tall he is and how he's got incredible shooting stroke. Like he's a good rebounder. Like he's every time I hear someone saying we should trade for Lauri Markkanen, like what? Why would you not want Michael Porter Jr. instead? Like
if I were, I mean, I think if I were the Warriors or the Pistons, I would be all over that. If I were them, I mean, it's just like obviously he's not going to play at this level for any of those teams. Neither would Lauri Markkanen, I don't think.
No.
But I do think that if the price is half the price and it's easier to match on his salary, and he can help you with things like especially the Warriors, a team that sucks at rebounding. They could absolutely use it. What was the comp that we had for Ace in the draft, by the way? Which was literally Michael Porter Jr., where it's just like you can rebound, you can shoot, you'll probably have a very long career, and he's going to have a 15-year NBA career and is reaching heights that I never thought that he would ever reach after the back stuff. And so in the last 3 games, he's averaged 34 points, 8.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 69 true shooting in the last 3 games. He's on a crazy heater right now. And he still is, he's still going as, like you said, the number 1 option. I don't know. I've seen Nets fans like freak out, like we're going to be too good. I don't think you have to worry about that. Like, I still think that, like, there are ways to make this team and if you win 23 games, it's very funny because coming into the year last year, I was like, the Nets have way too much talent for their line to be this low. And then this year I was like, all right, maybe they'll finally just pull out all the stops to make this like a 17-win team. But I really don't think you need to do that with the new lottery odds anymore. Like if you trust your scouting staff and your drafting, and it looked rough for this class. They weren't playing Danny Wolf early, and Jaeger Doman looked like not an NBA player to start. But things are hitting its stride for this Nets team. I still don't know about Seraph and Traore, whether they're going to be NBA players, but between Pal Wolf and Doman kind of figuring this stuff out, I do think that there's some optimism with this Nets team, especially with Noah Clowney playing the way that he has this year as well. Like Noah Clowney's someone who we both had an eye on him as rookies, and then he was injured all last year and absolutely fucking sucked. And now he's back to playing at like a pretty decent level. Like I do think that the Nets have at least some optimism. If they can add a top pick to this core next year, they might be cooking with gas. And I don't know if Michael Porter Jr. is going to be on that team or not, but either way, they're running a great wingflation operation.
It certainly looks a lot better than it did like draft night. Like I was really worried about them being like one of the bleaker situations in the NBA, and it's been like pretty good. A lot of their guys, I like Drake Powell. I'm pro Drake Powell. Cam Thomas.
KJ points out Cam Thomas will be back soon to help with that tank. And unless he wants to waive his no trade clause at the deadline, he'll probably be on the team after the season or at the end of the season as well. So watch Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. have just like an insane shooting stretch, and the Nets win 30 games.
That would be amazing.
Just impossible for this team to tank. And then they instantly go back to being like a 20-win team the next year when Houston has their pick again.
Oh man. No, I don't even want to speak that into existence for D Bronx and Will and all our lovely Nets people. I don't want to do that to them. But yeah, Michael Porter Jr. I owe you an apology, champ.
Yeah.
You've been great. Now we just need to get some of that other stuff under control.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that I expected him to be someone who could possibly. At one point, I thought maybe the Sixers could trade before all this. Maybe the Sixers could trade Paul George, get off that contract, and just attach a first-round pick and get Michael Porter Jr. and like Day'Ron Sharpe or something. That was like my thought was like, oh, maybe they could do that. But now I'm like, I think that's not enough.
He's too good. Yeah.
Now I'm like, Michael Porter Jr. is playing so well that like I don't want to attach what it would take to get him on this team. And I also don't want him on the Sixers anyway. I don't want those vibes near the good vibe Sixers right now. Like, no, thank you. I don't need the fucking viral clips going on my timeline.
Mike sitting next to VJ on the plane and showing him in the AI. And this man was sentenced to 7,600 years in prison. I don't think that's real, Mike.
6,700 years.
6,700 years. 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 36.
Yep. 36-7.
36. Yeah.
So, all right. The next player that I don't think any of us were familiar with his game, really. Like, I was like, oh, he might be I knew there were calculator rats that were fans of him. And I was like, oh, he might be like a nice rotation guard for them. And he's come back down to earth a little bit recently. But Ryan Rollins has been the biggest surprise in the NBA, maybe so far this year, in terms of making a massive offensive leap with a team that and I know that Giannis might ask out or whatever, but this is a guy that's making like $3 million a year. Like he has like, or it's 3 or 4 million. Like he should fire his agent for letting him sign that contract. I know that he had not really proven himself. And do you know why he's on the Bucks in the first place? Are you aware of the lore?
No. Okay, what's the lore?
So I remember some no ceilings guys really liked him in the draft. And I was like, yeah, maybe he could be like a two-way bench guard or something. So he signed a 3-year, $12 million deal. So he gets drafted to the Warriors. The Warriors end up including him in the Chris Paul Jordan Poole trade. So that's how the Wizards get him, right?
Okay.
And then about a year, I think it was a year and a half ago, the Wizards released him because he got caught shoplifting from Target and got arrested.
I did know this part of it.
So they waived him. The Bucks signed him a little bit after that, which to me, like shoplifting from Target, is that really worthy of cutting you from an NBA team? Like, I guess he was a two-way guy at the time. So it was like, are we really going to have like this guy? Maybe he has more of a headache than whatever, but like the Bucks were like, all right, we'll sign him. He got caught stealing sunglasses or something. Like, who cares?
Pay him better. Don't pay him $40K a year.
Yeah. He was making like 400,000 on the two-way, but still, I just do not care about that stuff.
Yeah.
He was 21 when it happened. He's 23 now. Like kids, like, he's college age. Like kids do stupid shit.
Half that money goes to your agent, and then you've also got like everyone in your fucking life cycle knows you're an NBA player now. They're all hitting you up for money. That's not like, it sounds insane to say, but that's really
not. We're not doing this conversation again. He makes $400,000 a year. So
he makes
he makes $4 million, and it is literally should still fire his agent. And
he should. Yes, he should.
That is a horrible. I mean, the Bucks have him on one of the craziest scam contracts that I've seen in recent memory. So the this year so far, the offensive leap that he has made, and while he hasn't been quite as effective recently, I mean, as a self-creator, he is currently averaging 17 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. He's averaging 1.6 steals per game. He's one of the best deflections guys in the NBA. He's towards the top of the league on a bunch of hustle stats. And he is like a legit starting level point guard now. So like, I think that the fact that he's only 23 and he has had this start to this season, that if the Bucks had, I think, any sort of normal health luck with Giannis and didn't have 2 back-to-back different injuries with him, you would be like, I don't think we would be talking about them as a top 4 team, but like this very clearly would have been like a playoff team with a healthy Giannis. And they have a lot more talent, I think, than people like at least realize.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Is what I just thought of is Horst reverse Weaver, where he like
horrible at drafting, but really good at the margin stuff.
Bad at big moves and like setting your team up and everything like that, but just like the god of like margin moves. Like,
well, AJ Green.
Yep.
Ryan Rollins. Someone just commented that the Bucks have no problem signing players that have legal issues. Okay, the KPJ stuff is genuinely like not even comparable at all to the Ryan Rollins stuff. Like that's honestly kind of gross. The reason why they got him in general is kind of gross, even though I know he's having a really good season. But like the other margin moves that he's made, like the undrafted stuff, the two-way guys, the MLE moves, he's really good at doing.
He got Brook Lopez. That was him, right?
Yeah. Bobby Portis was an MLE guy.
Yeah.
Gary Trent Jr. was a veterans minimum signing. Like,
there you go. Like,
they've gotten real NBA players on the margins for years now the real issue is that it's like this team is nothing without Giannis. And even with Rollins having this great year, they're just not going to win games. But I think that he's proven himself very obviously to be a great second or third option. Because once again, when I talk about, like, for example, when I just talked about with like Trey Johnson and these guys, and I'm seeing this more and more, Cam Whitmore's another one who's also on the Wizards. If you're not scoring and you're not being effective as a scorer, what are you doing to impact the game? Rollins doesn't have that question. Like, Rollins is a legit defender. He's someone who is going to impact the game in multiple different ways when he's not just scoring, and he's, improved as a playmaker and is being trusted with the ball more. Like, he can affect the game in a number of ways. And that's one of the reasons why I've been, encouraged to see the start to VJ's career as well, where like the scoring stuff, I expected it to be rough early on, and it has been at times, but still, if you can, insert your will on the game, then and you can affect a game positively without scoring, that's massively important.
So, Trill, you said you didn't care about Ryan Rollins shoplifting at Target.
I don't.
Okay. Well, now I've got you, because it was actually the Target Center Children's Hospital, and he stole $2 million in insulin and other treatments for children.
Okay, well, that's
to
be fair, I'm gonna defend Ryan Rollins again and say he was actually anti-capitalist, and he was saying insulin should be free for everyone. He was doing a Robin Hood situation. He got some bad information and stole from the wrong place.
No, he did the Joker thing. He slid down all the insulin needles and said, it's not about the money. It's about sending a message. And the children were like, no, Ryan Rollins, don't.
Bring me the Italian.
It was Danilo Gallinari when they got him on a contract buyout. No, not Campazzo.
So that was my pick. That's so far we have Keldon Johnson, Alex Sarr, Michael Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins.
Ryan Rollins is a good pick. I when I watched him, it was like the first Bucks game this year. I was like, who the fuck is that?
Well,
like,
I noticed him a little bit at the end of last year. I think that's when it was, when Dane got hurt. But I never expected it to be this. Like, I never expected him to be like someone you could like run offense through. And he's proven to be really good at that. So
he's fucking sick. Let's go. And this, I am like guaranteed cursing him by picking him here. Because the thing is, he really hasn't been that different from when he's played. He's just always injured. But like Mark Williams has been, has been kind of a fucking demon, and he hasn't, knock on wood, has not really missed games this year. And again, like a lot of his stats are kind of in line with like, nothing's like crazy outlier from like previous seasons, but the fact that he's having a like relatively healthy season, like this is, the next game he plays, he's going to have more minutes than he's had in
last 2 years.
Yeah. Well, his sophomore year, he's getting close. So he's at 503 minutes already. And he's last year he did play 1,000, but like he's, already halfway there, 20 games into the season. And he's been like just an absolute, like, he's been a massive part of why the Suns have been like very good. I think true shooting is like around 700. I don't know if it's like still there anymore. He's like a pretty normal rebounder, but he's just been like
he's a great rebounder.
Yeah.
He averages 4.4 offensive rebounds per 36 minutes. One of the things I really liked about him in the draft was the fact that he was like an insane rebounder in college.
The thing about him is the steals from the big position. I think his like steal rate is something like 2%, which is
he has two steals per 36 this year so far. He is also averaging 4.7 offensive rebounds, 12 rebounds per 36. And like you said, it's pretty much in line with most of his career averages. He just has never been able to stay on the floor in the way that he's been able to this year.
So maybe I'm cursing him with this, but just like he's playing like real meaningful games too. And maybe that's like part of it is she's just banished to Charlotte like forever. I mean, thank God they fucking nullified. Can you imagine if he was doing this for the Lakers instead of like Dalton Connect? Like,
well, I thought about that, and I'm like, I still think that the Lakers will end up getting away with it because as much as Mark Williams has been great, I still do worry about the injury stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
And then like Ayton's been good for them, like in a way that I didn't really anticipate. I had him on my long list of players that I had an apology for. I don't know if I'll end up selecting him, but Ayton's been about as good as you would expect Ayton to be in that role, like better than I expected, to be clear.
Okay.
And they got him for a scam contract for the next 2 years. He's generally more available than Mark Williams. And then on top of that, they have a first round pick. And what happened the last time the Lakers had a single first round pick to trade? They got Luka Doncic. It's one of those things where it's like, all right, well, obviously, if they had traded him just for Dalton Connect, that would have been a scam trade for the Lakers. But the fact that they also had to give up that first round pick and they couldn't trade any first, that's why they rescinded that trade. They'll say, oh, it was the medical stuff. The reason they rescinded that trade is they made the trade and then they realized, fuck, we have no first round picks to trade. And we just had one first round pick to trade and we got Luka with it. So maybe we should aim a little bit higher than Mark Williams. And they also might have got wind to the fact that like DeAndre Ayton is going to get bought out in the offseason and they might be able to sign him. Like, I think that the Lakers, this patchwork Lakers team, is probably going to end up being pretty good on the whole, just because of the amount of creation and kind of guys that can fill in gaps. I'm still not crazy about them as a playoff team, but if they make one move that they get a really good player with that pick and some salary filler, then I think that could change, the ceiling in a way that Mark Williams probably wouldn't have changed their ceiling. Like, he would have helped them for sure, but I don't know if he would have changed their ceiling. He would have been a crazy prestige zone guy. The fact that these are prestige zone guys that aren't getting prestige zone shine is really what this is about. Yeah. Which is that, like, Mark Williams being on the Suns makes it so that he doesn't get the same. Like, if he was doing this on the Warriors or the Knicks or the Lakers, it would be like, you would hear about it on every NBA podcast, but because he's doing it on like like this like upstart Suns team, no one really has talked about him all that much. But that's a really good pick. I had him on my long list. I don't even really. I'm going to do a 2-for-1 here since we've kind of stayed with the general theme of players who have kind of surprised us this year. These are two players that weren't on my radar at all, and I'm taking both of them in one.
Okay.
Pat. Oh my God, it is Pat Spencer, right? I almost called him Pat and Richard Spencer.
Pat and Richard Spencer. Well, because
it's Cam Spencer.
Cam Spencer. Who's the bad one on the Grizzlies? There's a bad white guy who's got a name like that who's on the Grizzlies. Who's like
Cam Spencer.
No, I think there's a different guy that I'm thinking of. That's not
the only white players on the Grizzlies are Jock Landale, Cam Spencer, Santi Aldama, and John Conchar. Those are the only white players on the whole team.
Is it Cam Spencer then? Maybe you talk and I'm going to investigate this because there's another one that I'm thinking.
Well, all I'm going to say is that the other night when Pat Spencer was saying, I'm that motherfucker after hitting a 3 on the Sixers home court, I was comparing him to Richard Spencer.
Okay, you're talking about Pat Spencer. I'm talking about Cam Spencer. Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay. I'm apologizing to both of them because this is really the definition of the I apologize, I was not familiar with your game. I knew Cam was a good shooter in college. I've never seen him miss a shot. Like, he is literally one of the greatest shooters I've ever seen in the history of the NBA. They're both kind of late risers because obviously, I don't know if you know Pat Spencer's story, right?
No, I was he the lacrosse one? Which was
other than the fact that I said he's going to do the ice in my veins celebration, but it's going to be a different kind of ice.
Gotcha.
He looks like a cop. Like, Pat Spencer legitimately looks like a cop. But Cam Spencer was on that UConn team that won the national title, so I was familiar with him. I knew he was a really good shooter. Pat Spencer was a lacrosse player that kind of quote unquote bet on himself a few years ago and ended up on a 2-way contract. Now he's on the Warriors. He's 29 years old on a 2-way contract and having a breakout season. But people have pointed out to me, like, well, if you took that unorthodox path of not playing basketball and like playing lacrosse, like, it would take you a few years to get as good as Pat Spencer, right? And I'm like, that's a good point. Like, it's not like he had been playing, organized high-level basketball for like his brother did, and now his brother's kind of breaking out at 24, 25 years old.
They're literally brothers. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not. Well,
How were you not aware of this? You didn't know that they were brothers?
Because I got burned. Because didn't I just last pod? I
You
thought
did it with
somebody was
Andrew and
brother.
Aaron. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No,
they're the
Pat and Cam
Wigan.
Spencer are brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Cam is the younger brother. Pat is the older brother. So Cam is having this insane shooting season with the Grizzlies so far this year. Weirdly enough, they're both breaking out in like the same month. The last month has been like the best year of their basketball careers. Yeah. And so Cam so far this year, he is playing, I believe he's playing 20 minutes a game for the Grizzlies. He's playing 21 minutes per game. His per 36 stats, he's averaging 18 points per 36, 6.6 assists.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Which I didn't know that he had that. I know he kind of has to scale up without Ja and all of their point guards, Scottie Pippen Jr., Ty Jerome, all those guys have died. But the Grizzlies just always figure out ways to find these kind of fringe guys. 6.6 assists per 36, only turning the ball over twice in that amount of time. And he is shooting from three. His effective field goal percentage this year, even with some more self-creation asked from him, 63% so far this year. He's shooting 46% from three. And he is currently shooting 52% from two. So like he can score at multiple levels. He's obviously a pretty good passer and playmaker in a way that I didn't really think that he had it in him. Him and Vince Williams Jr. have been like doing a lot of the point guard duties. And that's another thing about like, not just him on the Grizzlies, but like Edey is like the fact that Edey's been as good as he has been defensively and has been playing without a traditional point guard on offense. I think that those numbers could go up a lot for Edey when they get like Ty Jerome and Scottie Pippen Jr. and or even if Ja isn't Ja anymore, normal. He's still a good passer.
Just be normal,
I think that all of his numbers could go up, and like guys like Cam Spencer taking advantage of the opportunities that they've been given. Pat Spencer has like legitimately got to the point where like he's in the rotation over Kuminga now for the Warriors. Like he is like. If you rank their best players, it's like Steph, Jimmy, Draymond. He might be fourth. It's him or Post. It's him or Quentin Post, who are both having breakout seasons this year. Obviously, a little bit older for quote unquote young guys. But no, I didn't know that Pat and Cam both had like the self creation juice they have, the passing juice they have, and Pat Spencer is not really doing it just with like pure shooting in a way that his brother can. He's doing it like as like a creator and as someone who can actually run some offense. So I've been really impressed with both of them so far this year. So I had to give them a shout out.
It's a good pick. I didn't realize Cam Spencer was having that good of a year because I did a lot of my Grizzlies watching at like the very beginning of the year, and he was pretty normal. And my takeaway was like, oh, he's like an enforcer. Like
they're both the same way.
Yeah,
they're both they're like quote unquote dogs, but they're like they basically the Dylan Brooks, Marcus Smart role, but they're white guys who look like cops.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they were like my takeaway from watching Cam Spencer in like the early games, like, oh, this guy's like a brat. Like he's like I would fucking hate him if I were like the other like team, like I would be.
Well, his brother is one of the greatest lacrosse players of all time, so I'm going to make the leap and say that's probably true. They probably grew up rich. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing.
Go ahead and put that out there.
I think they're from Baltimore, the Baltimore area, if I remember.
That makes so much sense. That's what.
Yeah.
Lacrosse. That was the big thing by one of my friends who went to Georgetown Day School. So he was from that area, and he always had a big issue with in Wedding Crashers. They crab cakes in football. That's what Maryland does. He'd be like, "It's lacrosse, man. Like, it's lacrosse." And
Davidson, Maryland. I've never heard of it. I'm not familiar with their game, but that's where they're from. So
just gotta say, also the most evil part of the country, like hands down, like Northern Virginia, Virginia border of Maryland, like that. Just that area, like anything north of Richmond, the Richmond north of Richmond, so to speak. Sure. Anything like any of those that Chevy Chase area extended
we get it, the Pizzagate area.
Yeah, the Pizzagate. It is literally the demon area. So all right, I'm going off the record. I'm doing something a little silly here. I'm not taking a player with my next pick. I'm taking Jordan Ott Jordan Ott Demon, I was not familiar with your game, Beast. Like I owe you an apology. I was clowning the Suns so hard for that hire because I was like,
they finally learned, stop chasing sexy names. How
Yeah.
often did they do it with coaches and players?
yeah. I mean, I was like, it's good that is, but like the way that I thought he was getting set up for failure because you still have the franchise player there. Like you're not going to have the juice to tell Devin Booker which ways come, like, which way's up and which way's down. You brought in broken Mark Williams, who, as we just talked about, has actually like been fine. And you just give him this craps of this dog shit team and Jalen Green. And I'm just like, that's a really hard situation to put a first year coach in. And they've been, I think, the surprise of the NBA. And I don't think it's even close. I don't even know who else would even be in consideration for like, it's the most shot. Like Detroit being at the top of the like East and being very good is not, it's surprising, but it's not that surprising. If they make the playoffs, it's going to be the most surprised I've ever been. And I was kind of higher on them than like most people, where I was like, yeah, I think they could be like a scrappy, almost play-in team.
35-win team. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like on pace. They're like 3 games above 500 or something like that right now, which is crazy. Like we're a quarter of the way through the season.
Yeah, no, Ott apparently was important for that Cavs offense last year too, because I know they've had some injuries, but they haven't been quite the same this year. Was an assistant coach for them, was apparently one of their like big like playmaker schemer guys on that staff, and the Suns recognized it and hired him. And I honestly thought them hiring a nobody with this mess of a roster, it wasn't going to work out for them. And so far they've not only like they compete with everyone, like they rarely ever get like blown out in a way that I think that, yeah, you can hang your hat on that. And we said on the last episode, he's on the short list of coach of the year candidates. It's like him, Joe Maz, Udoka,
JB,
Bickerstaff.
Yep.
There's not many guys. I would say.
We'll say Mitch. I'll say Mitch now. Don't yell at us.
Yeah, Mitch Johnson is his name.
I don't even know. I'm just gonna call it Mitch.
Yeah,
he's one word. He's like
Mitch. Yeah.
He's
from the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
So he we got a millennial reference in. Let's go.
Yeah.
That was an old school reference for anyone who didn't catch that. But you already referenced Wedding Crashers literally like 5 seconds ago. So
sorry, I beat you to the punch. You gotta get
God damn it.
Gotta get up a little earlier in the podcast. Out millennial me.
So Demon Ott has been a revelation. The Michigan State thing actually working out.
Yeah.
Do they need to trade for Draymond now?
Perhaps.
I don't know what trade works there, but I'm just saying that's maybe they need more Michigan State people in there.
Maybe it's the move. Maybe
that's what makes it work. So the next player, this is more of I knew you were good. I didn't know you were this good. A player that we both liked, a signing we both liked in the offseason. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is averaging 20 points almost 21 points per game this year.
I didn't realize it was that good. I know he was playing well. That's kind of awesome.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker is shooting 39% from 3 on 7.3 attempts per game, shooting 54% from 2. He is currently getting to the line 4 times per game and shooting 85% on those shots. He's averaging 20 points, 3.4 assists, 3.5 rebounds, a steal per game. And you know what's really funny is I don't want to blow up this person's spot, but someone told me someone I know said they saw Shay's dad over the summer, and they knew Shay's dad through a mutual thing. It's something that I don't want to spoil because I'm sure we'll share it at some point on the podcast. But Shay's dad was basically telling him like, yeah, the Hawks like think that Nickeil Alexander-Walker, like Nickeil can be a star. Like they're like, they don't think this is just like a bench guy for them. Like they think he's going to like play big minutes. He's going to take a lot of shots. Like they think that he can be in the all-star conversation next year. And this person told me this a month and a half ago, and I laughed at them. I was like, come on.
Yeah, let's say
he's good, but like, come on. Like this is his uncle. Like obviously they're hyping him up, whatever.
That's simple magic. The uncle-nephew bond, by the way, I guarantee you, if you give Shay's dad truth serum, who do you love more? He says Nikhil because that's the uncle nephew bond is very important. So
Clearly, it has done wonders on him so far this season. But no,
yes,
Nickeil Alexander-Walker, never thought he would be a 20-point per game scorer on decent efficiency for a team that, especially without Trae Young, needs more scoring juice other than Jalen Johnson, and he has filled in that spot really nicely for them. And the Hawks are fun and have this like kind of demonic two-way team right now, and we expected them to be good, but They have been, without Trae, have been a lot more fun than I ever anticipated. And I think Nikhil and Jalen are a big part of that.
Yeah. Hasn't really translated to wins necessarily.
They're mid. They're still mid. They're still the Hawks. Like, but we'll see. I don't know. Did you see the rumor today that they were one of the teams listed for being in on Anthony Davis? I don't think that's going to happen, but I did see that. I think that would just be the Trae Young for Anthony Davis trade we talked about. And I wouldn't hate that.
I'm telling you right now, the thing that I'm watching, we got very close. I think it was 2 days ago. The Bucks spoiled it, but besides the Raptors, we did have, for 1 second, we had the Bulls, the Hawks, and the what's the other team?
Heat?
The Bulls, the Hawks, and the Heat were all in the play-in for like a.
It's not impossible.
I'm just saying the dream might not be dead. The Raptors are coming back down to earth a little bit. Like
if the Sixers lock in,
yes,
it's possible they could bump and we could be back into our play in heaven that we've had the last few years. But I do think this Hawks team is pretty decent. Yeah. But the Nickeil Alexander-Walker, yeah, man, like he's just been awesome this year. Yeah. Did not expect this little hot stretch that he's had recently. Although Will did point out that the scoring boom is out of control when Nickeil Alexander-Walker is averaging 20 points per game on like 16 true shooting. So it's a very good point. But he's still 25. Yeah. He's someone who is not like, I think he's 25 or 26. And like, we see these wings in their mid-20s make leaps all the time and like get new opportunities. And like, I don't know if you remember this, but if you, I'm going to see if I could go back and find he's 27 now. Okay. He just turned 27. I want to see if I could go back and find when he got traded in the Mike Conley trade to the Wolves. I was like, he's kind of good. Like had a really good season for the Jazz and he was like 23 or 24 at the time. I was like, why are the Jazz trading? Like, why are they doing this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And he showed some of the off the bounce stuff with the Jazz that year. And now he's getting to kind of put both parts together where what he learned with the Wolves and what he learned with the Jazz. And now he's way better than I ever anticipated. I remember making jokes about him being a cousin merchant in the draft. And he has finally found his spot and been like a legit two-way starting wing and an important one for the Hawks. So, all right, let's do two more picks. So we'll do 9 and 10, and I'll run through my lists on the next one of who we didn't get to.
I really hate that you made me do this. I was hoping you would take care of this for me. I'm going to keep it short because I don't do it. There's a Portland forward who's playing very well. I didn't believe in him. I kind of liked the trade he was in for the other team. I thought he was just going to like top out as like a 3-and-D guy. He's really taken a step forward. I am done saying nice things about him now.
Voldemort
is alarmingly high on a lot of the like advanced stats things, like not that far off Jalen Johnson, for example, which is
I've seen some. I mean, just from an advanced metrics perspective, his defense has been his defensive metrics have like fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
But he has definitely been way better offensively, and I would imagine once the team is a little bit more healthy and normal, those will kind of reset for him. But
I was gonna say not to hand it to ISIL, but I don't take the defense thing very seriously. I think he'll
be fine. It's just the offensive. We talk about this every year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Guy takes fucking 30 shots per game or whatever it is, 20 shots per game. Of course, his defense is going to be a little bit. No, but he's been really good this year. It is more of they kind of need someone to have the ball just because who's their second best ball handler? It's probably Scoot who's not healthy right now, or Drew who's not healthy right now.
Yeah. This might be one where like other people are like, yeah, no duh, Sam. Like, but I didn't believe in him scaling up like this. So I will not be apologizing to him, but I was incorrect about him. So
yeah, I mean, my gut feeling on the night of that trade when it happened was this is a steal for Portland and has done a lot for, let's just say it's done a lot for their rep in terms of how people feel about them as a team. Because if they didn't have him, man, it would be pretty grim right now. In terms of their like future outlooks. And him and Klingon and a few other guys on that team at least give you a little bit of like something to build with. But they're probably going to miss the playoffs again this year, and like even the play-in possibly. And I think that's probably better for them long term.
Yeah,
I still think they need another shot. Like they just need to take more swings in the draft. I know the Young Hansen, Cedric Coward thing might come back to burn them, but this is just a team that needs like a true game changer. And while this player's really good, he's not someone that is probably going to be, the number one on like a multi-time playoff team, but he's still really good at basketball. So, all right, I'm going to run through the list of players that I had on my I owe you an apology list. Colin Gillespie, who we've talked about kind of ad nauseum, kind of come out of nowhere. Chiodo told me about him for years. Chiodo was literally like, we need to sign Colin Gillespie. He will be like the next in this like point guard that gets overlooked thing. And I thought it was just a bit by him. Although Chiodo also, if Chiodo tells you about a white guy, pay attention. Is all I'm saying. Okay. All years,
no matter what.
Austin Reeves, Cam Spencer.
Yeah,
he told me about all these guys. He was like, all these guys are going to be good NBA players, and he turned out to be right. Colin Gillespie as well. The white guy market efficiency. The white American market efficiency is off the charts. Colin Gillespie, the latest person added to this. But I don't. Josh Giddey was also on my list.
I'm not apologizing to Josh Giddey. He's exactly who I thought it was. I think the fact that the Bulls stink now bears that out.
No, I think it's really funny that he's their only good player.
That's also true.
And I did I not literally say this on the episode where we were hyping up the Bulls early in the season, where I was like, you were more onto the fact that you're like, they're probably fraudulent, but I was like, wouldn't it be really funny if Josh Giddey was just good now, but it locked them into being a play-in team forever?
God, it's poor Kevin, dude.
They're gonna have either, Kevin's prediction was they're gonna fire Billy or they're gonna make a win now trade. One of the two before this deadline, he thinks happens. So we'll see what they do. I had Dylan Brooks on my list. I had Davion Mitchell, your guy, on my list because mainly because of the playmaking.
He's been a real point guard for them. I'm going to be honest. I've been more of a Davion obviously believer than many, but I did not see this for him.
You said he was going to be a star. So I think that you saw this. You don't have to be humble about this. His 9 points per game are going a long way this year. New Andrew Nemhard just dropped.
So somebody's got to drive the ball. That is my type. Like I do like the point guards who don't
defensive
really
point guards. Yeah. So another player on here, Quentin Post, who's been legitimately very good this year.
I tried to tell you.
I had multiple players that you didn't say apologies to that I'm shocked you didn't.
Okay.
All the Celtics role players that you were kind of skeptical of, Jordan Walsh especially.
Jordan Walsh, I didn't think Jordan Walsh was going to make it. Kata is the one that also really deserves it. Walsh, it's like he was like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Kata, I didn't think Kata was ever going to be anything like this. He was the one that was closest to making my list. I didn't think anyone wanted to hear me wax poetic about the Celtics.
But I had both of them on here. Which I mean, of course, it's demonic that even during a lost season they find multiple good role players. I should have seen this coming.
The Minot thing is like they're gonna have 6 like legitimately rotation level wings like when Tatum comes back.
Hasn't Hauser kind of sucked this year? Isn't he the one guy that hasn't been great?
He's like shows up on like the points, rebounds things, but he's still a demon 3-point shooter, and he's still like a really good defender. I think he's been totally.
If they can't find a Simon trade, do you think they just salary dump Hauser because they have all these new wings?
Maybe I wouldn't. I think we need the shooting, to be like totally honest. Like I would just swap Simons for Terrence Mann and call it good if they can't find a better deal.
But that's like you have to get both teams to agree to that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't happen until the deadline because the Nets are going to wait to see if something better is out there. So yeah.
So all right. The player I think you deserve personally, and I'm sure our Raptors fans will love to hear me say this. You owe Scotty Barnes a huge apology, dude. I had Scotty Barnes at like 40 something in my rankings, and you were like, I have him in the 70s. And I was like, all right, that's pretty low for Scotty Barnes.
He was really bad last year. And
I understand, but the 70s, dude? They're not 70 players in the NBA better than Scotty Barnes.
There were last year. I mean, he went back to being like a very strong guy, you know, like, and I think that, you know, yeah. I'll eat that one. I do owe Scotty Barnes. I kind of forgot about that.
I think he's been like close to all NBA level this year. He's been really good.
Yeah, he's been really good. Like it is very funny that like the Raptors had him, Pascal, and OG all the time. They were like, "Yeah, we can play all these guys." Fuck you! No, you can't. Like he like. It is kind of crazy how much Scotty reminds me of Pascal. Like,
do you think that Masai is just in a room playing Marvin's Room, watching the Houston Rockets, and just being like, "You can build a team out of just bigs and wings."
Just bigs and wings, yeah, no guards.
They called me at Masai's room. He's just like, they called me a madman.
I also might owe Jamal Shed a light apology. I was saying some pretty foul things about
liked him. Jamal Shed in the draft, though.
I did like Jamal Shed in the draft.
No, I don't think. To me, I don't think you have to apologize for that one.
I like Jamal Shed in the draft. I was talking very foul on him because I saw like 3 Raptors games and he was dog shit in all of them. Yeah. And I was like, he's bad, but he's been actually pretty good this year.
He's literally a Davion Mitchell variant. They're very similar.
Yeah.
But the player that I'm going to be selecting, and this is actually a Sam favorite, Anthony Black.
Yes.
A player that I never saw. I never got it. In the draft, I was like, I don't think he's a good enough scorer. In his first few years, I was like, what does he really do well? I did underestimate the fact that he was still very young. He's 21. He's almost 22. But this year, he's made a huge leap as a scorer and honestly turned himself into a really nice player. Per 36 minutes so far this year, he's averaging 17 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, playing really good defense. He did have one of the dumbest plays I've ever seen the other day, where he tried to throw a lob to Franz on that break with 3 guys trailing, and it almost ruined Franz's life in the Magic season. But he's still young. But he had a game where he absolutely crushed the Sixers this year. And I think that was on it. People said the LeBron thing for me saying he was washed was karma. That was my karma. Anthony Black going off against the Sixers was my karma. Like, he's just like the scoring was the thing I always worried about with him. And he's clearly just like a decent enough scorer. He's slowed down a little bit recently, but had a really hot stretch recently. In the Sixers game, he had 31 points on 12 of 17 from the field. And the shooting is improved enough, the scoring is improved enough that I think that he's just very clearly going to be like a starter level wing / guard moving forward. And I was wrong. I was always like, you basically drafted a bench player with the 6th pick in the draft. Congratulations. And he's kind of owed me this year. I think he's been really impressive. If the Magic can get healthy, that's a real, and they realize that Jace Richardson is a better basketball player than Tyus Jones.
Yes.
That's a really good team. Like, if you literally just sort of like, all right, both the Wagner brothers get healthy. Yeah. Paulo is like a normal and like adjust to a new role. And then you have Bane, Anthony Black, Jace Richardson, Wendell Carter Jr. Like, that's like their 1 through 8 is like up there with the best in the league, I think.
They're 14-10 right now. They're 4 games over 500.
Yeah, they started like shit, and then they kind of bounced back. This Franz stretch, I think, determines how high they can get in the standings without Franz, because he's probably going to be out for at least 3 weeks, maybe a month. And we'll kind of revisit from there. But if they could survive this stretch and even go like a little bit above 500 without him, then I think that this team could. I think this team could be back exactly where we thought they could be, and maybe not quite as high as top 3, but top 4 or 5 in the East, and win a playoff series or two.
I think their over-under was 50.5. I'm not closing the book on that.
I don't think it's impossible. No.
Yeah, I'm not closing the book on that.
We'll see how they look with it. This is definitely the best. This is the best team they've had to survive Franz injury compared to the last ones.
Yeah.
But I still want to see Paulo do it as the number 1 guy for an extended period of time for sure. So
yeah, not everyone can be Jaylen Brown. I don't know if Paulo's built to
perverted.
Be a number 2.
Yeah. Just like Brandon Ingram, please come back to earth from shooting from mid-range, Jaylen Brown.
No, this is him now. He's a demon. He's going on streams and saying some interesting things about...
I was gonna say Jaylen Brown's somehow the least problematic streamer.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah, that thing that he said, they make you say that when you get on Twitch. Trill, you have to get ready to.
Yeah. I will be. I'll be on Twitch later this week. I'm going to do Thursday afternoon. Will be our first Twitch stream. I'm going to be doing 2K rebuilds on there. Probably rebuilding the Sixers as I usually do when I fire up a 2K game for the first time. Radioactive. I'll be in isolation for 3 days. And then tomorrow night, we're going to kick off the streams on YouTube. The final playback stream tomorrow night. Setting it off. We'll talk about our favorite playback moments. And we'll watch some NBA Cup games tomorrow night at 7:30. So join us for the Radioactive streams on YouTube. One last playback stream and Twitch.
Heater up 13-0, by the way.
We called it. We nailed it.
Good idea to get that out of the way.
This certainly won't age poorly.
Yeah. As we all know, the Heat won this game. All of you listening at home that you know now.
That's right. And the NBA Finals.
Yes.